got my uniform, as you can see. I'm one of the biggest fans of Splatteredplastic, and I would like to answer the questions what made by these guys, and about my horror collection. I wasn't really big at horror for first when I started to collect records, but the time being I found I was looking always for content on YouTube, and somehow I bumped into Splatteredplastic, and I love their stuff. They feel to me like I go out with my buddies every Friday night and we talk about silly horror movies or movies in general and have a bit of a banter, and I just feel like I'm part of the conversation and appreciate what you guys doing, and I'm looking forward for more content from you. And this is my first attempt to make a content about my own collection. Like, I got into the collecting records in early 2020, and well, it went terribly wrong for me. I already own more than 250 records, and most of them are scores and soundtracks. When I started to collect, I wanted to limit myself to only collect soundtracks, because in other case it would be much more out of hands for me, at least. So I always went by that rule. I own some other records as well, like bands and, you know, records what I like to listen to, like the whole album, not just one or two tracks. But mostly I own soundtracks and scores. And yeah, I'd love to be a part of this community. It feels like people listening to me. It's a really weird kind of hobby to have. It's not many people share the same interest. So yeah, let's get to the first question. So what was the first horror score what I ever bought? Well, I have a couple of answers for this, maybe 3 answers. And I remember my first horror score what I ever bought was when I was really, really young, and I used to go to, you know, Blockbuster kind of rental place in my city, and I used to rent VHS copies of movies. I went there every day. Everything was with a Czech dubbing, because I used to live in Slovakia, and that's where I fell in love with all these movies, pretty much seen all of them. And I remember vividly my first ever score what stuck into my head was The Crow. And obviously I didn't buy this point, but I bought this on cassette, and I absolutely love the artwork on this one. I own the other copy as well, but this is just absolutely brilliant and beautiful. So that was The Crow. And when time passed, I moved to England, and in 2017 I got myself just this one all-in-one record player, what I got from my ex-girlfriend, and she bought a record, I think it was a Guardians of the Galaxy for me, and I didn't really get too much into it. It was more like a retro kind of experience for me. It's like I just love old stuff, like collecting physical stuff, and I wasn't really getting to that point. But I remember went to HMV, and my first ever unintentionally bought a horror score. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone in that point was a big fan of the Stranger Things. So this was my first horror scores what I bought, and probably in 2017 or something like that. But what really dropped me into the deep water, that was in early 2020 when I bought myself my first record. I didn't even own a record player in that point, or I think it was broken or something. I didn't really listen to it, nothing. I didn't own anything, but I was getting a little bit bored, and I had a favorite game in that point, and I considered it as a horror game as well, and that was The Last of Us. This is where I got introduced to Mondo, and this is where everything went terribly wrong for me, because I fell in love with this. So I started to collect records. That's it. And my favorite composer, well, obviously I have a lot of favorite composers. Mostly they don't really do horror scores, but my all-time favorite is probably Hans Zimmer. And the only horror score what he ever did is The Ring. So obviously I had to get this. Absolutely loving this score. It's haunting. It's one of my favorite horror movies from early 2000. Just love this score. But the modern days composers, I will appreciate more of these newcomers, like new people. You know, I get to know them from pretty much series or movies, and I have to say my most favorite composer, there are two composers, they are called the Newton Brothers. They are my absolute favorite, and they mostly do horror, so I think this is the right answer for me. And it's obviously The Haunting of Hill House. It's absolutely favorite. They did The Haunting of, oh well, this is the Hill House, that was Bly Manor, sorry. They did one of my favorites is A Midnight Mass. I know Timman loves this one. This sounds absolutely amazing. And Doctor Sleep. I don't own The Shining. I wish I have, but this one gives me enough vibes of The Shining as well. And I can't wait. Waxwork releases. The Fall of House of Usher. I already pre-ordered The Midnight Club. So I'm looking forward to receive more and more from the Newton Brothers. My favorite record labels. Well, my favorite record label. Well, I have a lot of record labels, but it's probably That Waltz, Mondo, Waxwork, and I like Movies on Vinyl. They sound absolutely beautiful. And I enjoy the records. They're releasing some of the really cool stuff like 28 Days Later or Succession. It's one of my favorite scores of last year. It has to be Mondo and Waxwork. Do I collect any variants? I'm not really collecting any variants. Unintentionally I do, but I remember buying this score. Well, it was a bulk buy with Let the Right One In. It's a Swedish horror movie. It's put out by That Waltz. And I think when I bought it, it got announced by a Swedish record label. And they released this version, Let the Right One In, and I had to pre-order it. It's got this special color as well. It was a pre-order. It's nothing special, it's like blood splatter. Yeah, I really do love this score. I really do love this movie. It's even got a poster in it. This is absolutely one of my favorites. If you didn't see it, check it out. It's a wonderful score. My rarest score in my collection. Well, that's really hard to answer because I do own a rare records, but they not horror related. But if I have to pick one, it has to be this one. This is my Last of Us game. This contains the original Last of Us 1 and the Left Behind DLC soundtrack, and it got signed by Troy Baker and Nolan North, who played David, and probably one of my most precious pieces of my collection. It's horror, so I think it's qualified. I absolutely love this box set. It's beautiful, and this thing doesn't go cheap. I got it instead of my normal version what I had without the signatures, and I sold that one. But I absolutely love this score and has to be one of my favorites of all time. So probably this is my rarest. What am I currently listening to? Wow, what am I currently listening to? Well, I'm a big fan of Lematos. He's a French composer. He did Summer of '84. A great cheesy kind of serious horror movie. Absolutely love this score, and it's got me introduced to this composer who's composing the really serious synth music, 80s synth music vibes, and I didn't even know I like it, but it's got me introduced to it. It's got Stranger Things vibes as well, and I love this. I had to get all of his other records to Bokeh, Join Us, American Ninja, or what is it called? Oh, Ninja Elimination Trilogy. Never seen it, but music is great. So I love to listen to Lematos at the moment. Obviously, I pick and choose all the time, you know. But I would like to extend this contest with one more question. The record what I bought because of Splattered Plastic. It's gonna be a little bit long one, so if you wanna stick around, stick around. If you get bored of me mumbling around here about all these records, then just turn it off. Alright. So the records I bought because I watched lots of Splattered Plastic. Well, one of them, Mandy. Well, you can see it's got me absolutely. I would miss this movie if they wouldn't talk about it, and I watched it and I fell in love with it, and I got my unopened copy. I got this special release from Germany, I think so. You have all these collectibles. It's got DVDs, it's got the record by Jeremy Ascend. It's actually a playable record, and yeah, I just wanted to have this one, and I got it for a fairly good price. This is because of Liam. I've never been a big fan of the movie. I found it, well, I'm a bit younger than you guys, but it just didn't get me. But the music, it's absolutely worth taking, and the artwork is probably one of my favorite Mando releases as well, by artwork. And yeah, Suspiria, A Nightmare on Elm Street. But I love the movie, and the score is just beautiful, and I love this artwork. So cheers guys, this cost a lot. Phantasm, I got the record before I got the I seen the movie, but what I heard, I love this score. It's just wonderful, and it's probably one of my rarest as well. But yeah, I just love to hunt them, try them out, and if you don't like, I just pass them forward to someone else. But I absolutely love these movies. And I got this because Tin Man, Evil Dead 2, absolute favorite. Love Evil Dead 2. I love all the Evil Deads, to be fair. Like the original, the new one, Rises. I even got the Evil Dead poster up there. It's not real. Yeah, Evil Dead 2. Fantastic artwork. Yeah. Love Evil Dead 2. Friday the 13th. Wonderful artwork. Just probably seen these guys, but I would like to special thank to Tin Man because of this. I never seen it. It's come I missed me when I was a kid. I seen a lot of horror movies when I was young. I seen most of the 70s, 80s American made, not really other countries. But The Return of the Living Dead, what a beautiful movie. Like I watched it first time last Halloween, when Liam put out his Return of the Living Dead collection, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I've seen it so many times since then, and I had to get the music, and yeah, sounds amazing. So yep, that was my budget spent on recommendation of Tin Man and Liam. Well, thank you guys for your work. You know, you mean so much to people like me, you know, who, I don't know, I live on the countryside. I don't really have much time to go out and speak to other people, but you know, it feels like I can pop a beer Friday, new Splatteredplastic, you know, I can just hear banter, and I just feel like I'm a part of the conversation, and that makes me really happy. And keep going, guys. You know, it's special to us. I'm pretty sure you deserve more subscribers and more likes what you have right now, but I think you're on the right path. So there you go. Thank you very much, guys. Stay sick.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and this is my Elsa record. It's super special. It sings like a girl, like a girl. And the next one is Bluey. He always sings Bluey. This is Barbie Girl, and her sings I'm a Barbie Girl. And this one's Lego Movie. And this one sings everything is awesome, everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome, you're empty. And I have a unicorn dress on. Do you like it? And that's all my records. And Daddy just recorded. And my mummy is Mummy Charlotte. And that's Bobby. Benji's asleep. And Meow Meow's outside. That's all my family. Goodbye!